You're listening to Into the Smoke, hosted by Patrick Harmon. And thank you very much for coming back to another episode of Into the Smoke. I'm your host, Patrick Harmon, and why don't we get right into it? Well, the Southern 500 and all the other races, which were at Darlington Speedway in South Carolina, I believe, right? Were pretty interesting, to say the least. You gotta, with the whole holiday weekend past us now, and everything else, you gotta say that was pretty interesting. Both at up north in our Canadian brothers. I don't know how you say it, but up north in Canada, and up down here in South up in America. But down south, it was in, I believe it was in South Carolina. That's where Darlington, I believe in Darlington, South Carolina. What a whole bunch of races. It went pretty interesting, to say the least, like I said. But why don't we get into it? First off, I didn't watch the Xfinity race. I had a lot of stuff going on. I had my brother was in town and his friend, so I didn't get too much into the Xfinity race. Did watch the truck race, that was pretty cool, and I did watch the Cup race, which was at 6:00. It was at Sunday night. So, but I thought it was kind of funny that 6 of the top 10 drivers were in Xfinity. Were Cup drivers in the Xfinity race, meaning the 6 of the top 10 finishers were Xfinity drivers. I mean, you know what I mean? 6 of the top 10 drivers were Cup drivers, meaning they were Cup drivers, so they didn't get points originally. So it's really hard. I guess that's what I'm saying. Really. It's really hard to get those drivers to get points. Like, they have to work really hard. They don't. I think they can still get those extra points that Truex Jr. has been getting and all that stuff. But it's harder to get it when you got these Cup drivers. And I think NASCAR should be getting harsher and harsher on these drivers, you know what I mean? Like, maybe putting on a limit. And I thought they did, but maybe they'll be doing it harsher next year. I think they should be. Next about the Truck Series, the Austin Cindric Kaz Grala incident on the last lap. He said it multiple times, Austin Cindric. I don't know what else people want to hear. He did it because he needed a win. And he got his win, you know? I don't know what else people were wanting to cry about. Like, people were saying, oh, he didn't need to do it. And all this other stuff. And, well, I don't know. Going over to the Cup Series. Well, I don't know what you want to talk about that first. Why don't we talk about the Bubble Watch? Well, more like the Win Watch. We got one race to go, and I don't know why I'm going into this first. Usually I go in this last, so I gotta watch how I talk about this, because I usually talk forever about the Bubble Watch. Like I said, it's more like the Win Watch, because it's one race to go. If you're gonna win it, you gotta win it. Well, why don't we talk about Clint Bowyer first? He had engine blowout at Darlington, and he's been working up a uphill battle with this blue oval. If you guys understand the whole Stewart-Haas team, the original Stewart-Haas team, excluding Tony Stewart, which retired the Ford to Clint Bowyer, was driving Chevy. Well, Clint Bowyer was also driving Chevy last year, because he was supposed to drive, which what I was under the impression that he was driving Chevy last year because he was basically learning how to drive Chevy because he's been driving Toyota for I believe he was driving it for Michael Waltrip Racing for a while. And for a while before that, I'm pretty sure he drove Toyota for a while. Well, when he already signed the contract to drive for Stewart-Haas this year. So for some reason, I didn't know, maybe they didn't know either, that they were going to switch to Ford so late in the game last year. But he has been the worst at it. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying the worst at it in a bad way, but he's had the worst uphill battle. Danica, she's had a pretty good stride. Kurt and Kevin, they've had a pretty good stride, but he's had a pretty harsh battle with the Blue Oval. But he's right at the line. Obviously, if you guys haven't seen the battle, the actual bubble, he's at the line. He's at the line, and man, I shouldn't be like blah. Playoff standings, and McMurray is above the line. If you guys were wondering, we're not gonna go like I usually do and yak about that all the time. Which McMurray and Boyer. McMurray's above, Boyer's below. That is going to change as soon as we get into Richmond next week, though. On the Richmond race. Just to let you guys know. But Junior, you guys heard my rant about Junior. I think it was last week. All I'm going to say is, some might say he just had a very, very, very long stream of bad luck, but Logano had we'll get to this whole thing later, but Logano is on the same battle on this. Logano should have a win right now, but we all know why he doesn't. He got a Big E. It's called Encumbered. We'll talk about this later. It's going to be in the next topic. But that's why he doesn't. He's got a Blue Oval too, but he's got a different manufacturer, I believe. But like I said, he should have a win right now, but he doesn't. So we have a few rookies as well. And they have a better shot of winning right now the championship, or they have a better shot than Johnson has, I guess. But y'all know that they always say that, oh, we're saving for the chase over there at Hendricks. So, and you know how I feel about Hendricks, because they had some pretty harsh words. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if they've brushed up and been nice to Stewart-Haas since they said these, but they had some pretty harsh words when Stewart-Haas and Hendricks left, because that's who they both got their chassis and their engines from. So, but I guess why don't we talk about this guy over here, the guy that's breaking the internet. I've seen him. NASCAR on Fox has been talking about him, and everybody's been complaining about this Big E and everything else. He's already got a win, but everybody's complaining about this whole encumbered thing. Denny Hamlin finished P1 this last week at actually we won't get in his other win, but we won't talk about his other one right now. But he finished P1. He got an L1, meaning it's encumbered. It's no good. It's like he didn't even race. He didn't. It was for a rear suspension. Crew chief got kicked out. But that's not all. No, that's not all. His Xfinity car also finished P1. Got an L1. Again, for suspension violation. Both are knocked out 2 races. While we're on violations, suspensions, Logano also got a P1, which, if anybody's going to be complaining about if it's a Toyota thing or anything else, Logano is a blue oval. He's a Ford. So I don't know if anybody's complaining about if this or not, but Logano is a Ford. So they're not just honing in on Ford, Toyotas or Fords or whatever, or Chevys. He got an L1 for the same thing. Suspension violation. Crew chief out for 2 races. There is also money involved, but I don't mess with that too much when I talk about L1s. Like the L1s, the biggest thing is encumbered in 2 races, or I think it starts at 2 races, and if you get encumbered multiple times. Logano, then we talk about Logano we talk about Logano. Logano knows too well about those L1s. Good thing he didn't get an L1, and hopefully he doesn't get an L1 for this next week. And then Junior got an L1. Oh, by the way, Logano, that was his 22. That was his Xfinity car, by the way. That was his Xfinity car, not his Cup car. 88 of Junior, which that is his Cup car, got a lug nut violation. Greg Ives will be suspended 1 race, and that is a $20,000 fine. So everybody is complaining about encumbered wins. Should we kick him out? Should we not have him anymore? I heard some stupid thing about how, it kills the experience at the track. Why does it kill the experience at the track? You don't even find out until Wednesday at night. Not at night, it's about 3 to 3:30. You find out if anybody is encumbered or not. How does that kill? When is a race ever? How has that ever killed a race experience? You're still watching the race. Secondly, about the race driver itself. If you're going to do something wrong, you should pay for it. I think it's shown right here. All of the drivers that have gotten an L1, both of Denny Hamlin's, both his Cup car and his Xfinity car, and his and Logano's Xfinity, they have all said, "Okay, we got you. We're not gonna mess with it." Even though he lost points, he lost chase points doing this. He's walked away because he's known that he's done something wrong. They know they do stuff wrong. Toyota's done this before. They've known that guys, They know their limit now. They know that whatever they did in the suspension, that's too far. They say, okay, suspension, it's basically testing the waters. And I know people might not think that's true, but it's true. That's what they're doing. That's why they said, okay, we're not going to mess with it. Because that's just going to waste time. That's just going to be, that's just going to be grinding our feet on, I don't know, on something that's moving. It's kind of like going up the wrong side of an escalator. You're not doing anything about it. Like, you know you did something wrong. You should pay for it now. You know? They do this all the time. Didn't you heard what I said? 6 out of the top 10 finishers, that's how I should say it. 6 out of the top 10 finishers in the Xfinity race were Cup drivers. Not saying every single one of those people were testing their boundaries, but it's just, and NASCAR is getting, it's getting to the point where it's getting to become chase season, basically. Just like if you have open season or hunting season or fishing season or something like that, it's becoming chase season. Just like if it gets warmer outside. Okay, we're gonna stop for a moment because I feel like people get kind of irritated about this a little bit, and I need to let people understand. It's kind of like when it gets warmer outside. Actually, it's good. Let's say it gets colder outside first. It's cold outside. You only see like 2 cops, 3 cops on the highway. They're mainly pulling over people that are like driving way too fast for conditions because it's cold outside. You know, there's ice and snow on the ground, you know? Okay. Now it's like, no, that was like 30, 20, maybe 10. If you're in Canada, like maybe 20 below. Like, we're in American temperatures, though. Now we're like 70, 80 degrees out. We're driving. But this time we see 500 cops on the road. I'm kind of exaggerating, but we see a lot of cops on the road. People are getting pulled over left and right because they're seeing every little violation. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Okay? And this analogy works out great now. I didn't even see how. These cops don't have a quota. They don't need to find. They don't have a quota. Cops don't have quotas. Look up watch any person, not people that are against cops, but any regular, like, I don't know how you, like, any person that wants to tell you how it's real. Cops don't have quotas. Just like NASCAR R&D doesn't have a quota. They don't need to pull out 1,000 L1 penalties a year, a season. Why would they want to do that? They want to have drivers win races. What was I talking about there? I don't know how it was. Anyway. Mainly it's just they've noticed that okay, that's how I'm doing it. Mainly they've noticed that Chase is coming soon, and they need to make sure nobody is cheating to the point. I can hear people yelling already, "Hey, why don't they do this all year round?" Well, they don't. NASCAR is an organization, meaning that they don't have the money to pay people all year round. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I can think of, is they can't pay people all year round to 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 kind of like mostly like to police the drivers. So they kind of like they back out off on it sometimes. They hire not hire. They kind of like have people every like in seasons. I don't know the whole thing. I kind of I kind of understand, and I understand what's going on here. It's becoming chase season. They want to make sure nobody is cheating. And if somebody's cheating, they want to make sure they tell you, you're cheating, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here until you can stop cheating. And and that's all I'm trying to like say here. Is that I think it should be worse. And I think I even saw somebody say, if this thing encumbered, you should be kicked out of race. But then they would probably back down some rules, because then we'd have Hamlin, but what if that ends up being in a chase? That would basically, they would have to change their whole rules package, because right now, if you're out of a chase, as far as in my head, last year, if you have a really bad race in one part, like in one part of a race, or in one part of the chase, and you finish like dead last, like what Clint Boyer did last week, you can't do that in a chase, and you can't do that in the chase, and that's probably what he's getting talked to right now. It's like, hey, you can't do that. We have to make sure our engines are topped. But I'm talking too much, guys. Darrell Wallace Jr. Is got a ride for Chicagoland, which is next week. It's he's driving the '98 Ford Mustang, the Bianchi Den Besti Racing. It's a Nickelodeon theme, which would be kind of cool. If you guys don't know me too much about Bubba Wallace, he's kind of one of my favorite lower end drivers. I wish he would actually get a full time car. So next year, hopefully he does. Right now I got Cole Custer, and he will be he is in the chase. So far he is in playoff standings. Cole Custer is in 8th right now, points. But anyway, guys, I talked way too much about today. It was kind of mainly about this whole encumbered thing, because it kind of, I don't know, like when somebody that kind of represents NASCAR kind of talks about that in a bad way, and like, I think encumbered, it's the right thing to do, because you did something wrong, and they've already kind of noticed it. It's like, I understand we did something wrong. We don't want to mess with it. But when I find out that NASCAR is officially sent out on either their website or whatever, their what do you call that? Their sheets, basically, yeah, you know what I mean, the sheets that shoot, what do they call that? Man, their layouts, whatever they call that thing. I will be doing 2, or I will be doing kind of 2. I'll be doing one that basically shows how I want to who I want to win and I don't know if NASCAR is going to do that. I think it's going to be after next week. And then the other one is just I'm gonna go through it with you guys together, and I'm actually gonna try to somehow post it. Maybe I'll post it in Google Docs or something like that. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening to another episode of Into the Smoke. If you guys like this content, hit the like button. If you guys want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell right beside that. Until next time, guys, stay out of the smoke.